We're back again at Rossdale Golf Club. Sam Hargreaves, joined by, as always, the coach extraordinaire, Michael Moore.
Thanks, buddy.
And hashtag break 80. We're at our second lesson to get me to a single figure handicap. Can we make a golf commentator a competent golfer? Mick, great to be back. Last week we worked on, or last lesson, we worked on the short game, the wedges around the greens, and you changed a lot about what I was doing wrong and showed me what I needed to do right. And I've got to say, in the games that I've played since, the wedges have increased and improved drastically.
Awesome.
So just, everything we spoke about getting the weight forward, getting the right hip turn, picking the number to do with the club, and working through where the drop zone was and then what your release was, the shot, everything that we worked on, I've been able to retain and implement, and the results have just been immediate. So I've got a tougher challenge for you.
A little bit tougher. Oh, not that much tougher, mate. Like the stuff that we've done, that we did last lesson with your short game, the great thing, now that we've built your good setup, we spoke a lot about your posture and your setup. Now that we've sort of built that in your short game, we should see a lot of that transition into your long game today. So when we start, in our warm-up, we'll hit a few 7-irons, just get your body moving. We should see all that stuff that we did in your short game transition to your 7-irons, and then when we get to driver today, we hit a few of those. We'll just tweak it ever so slightly, because effectively, once we've built that solid setup, mate, it just flows the whole way through the game. We should make life, we want to make it simple. We want to keep it easy.
So one of the most important things about, I suppose, trying to put together any solid round is you've just got to give yourself a position off the tee.
Definitely.
The hardest part maybe of any round is just getting the hole off to the right start, so that I'm not having to scramble and save. And
such a confidence thing too, mate.
Yeah.
Like you hit a good one off the tee and you're feeling, as we spoke about last lesson, shoulder blades are back, chest is out, I'm in for a good day. But you duff that first one off the tee and you're like, oh geez, it's going to be a long one today. So
well, that's been happening a little bit, but it won't happen any longer. So we got a saying for us that as part of the Callaway family, that you got to look good in the Travis Matthew gear.
We're doing that today.
You got to feel good with the right club in your hand. So this is the new Callaway Elite range, and I've got the standard set, but it's 10.5.
Yep.
I struggle to get loft on the driver, being maybe it's because I'm a bit shorter and probably the way I go about hitting it, which we'll figure out in just a moment. But I've got it set up to neutral, but +1 to give it a bit of extra loft in the neutral setting on the face too. So with the extra AI, 8 yards guaranteed extra. So, but we're not worried about distance today.
Yeah. It's got some great versatility, mate. So we've got you in +1 here, which will help you loft it up, and you won't actually have to try and get in there and help it up. So the club's going to do the work for you. The great thing with the new Elite is we've got the ability to, if you were hooking it too much, we could add some weight to the arm out near the toe to give it a little bit of fade bias, so we could move it around. We feel like you're slicing it today, we could actually move that weight around. It'd be a quick fix. I'd rather fix you technically first, but we do have that versatility there in the head, which is really cool.
All right, well, let's get stuck into it. So last week, wedges. This week, driver. Next week, irons, putting. We've still got a little ways to go, but from one lesson with Mick, there's automatically been a difference in the game, and I was able to pick up shots around the green with wedge in hand that I previously wasn't picking up. So hopefully we can do the same with driver today.
Perfect. Let's see how it goes.
Let's do it.
Good.
So here's something that I don't normally do, just since yesterday.
Yeah.
And how he's got me to change.
Starting to get some more divots.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. That's what we want, because you were, when you spoke about this before, you were kind of coming up at the very start, this way through the back. So if we can feel like we keep that chest more open on the way through, mate. We're too far forward. Really interesting, mate, because when we get too far, like our alignment and stuff gets too far to the right, and as right-handers we have a tendency to, kind of line our body to the target.
Yeah, okay.
Get shut off a little bit. Then your brain's that smart to make it try and go on target. We actually start sort of pulling across on it. It's interesting. Yeah. So as a right-handed golfer, we actually, when we set up to, we actually want to sort of try and feel like we're aiming sort of left of the target, mate. So yeah, which we'll get into routines and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I think that's the next part of me is where am I aiming? Is my left shoulder when I look over to it, where do I want to see it in a line?
You want to probably feel like you're aiming there. So you want to feel like you're aiming at that big pine tree effectively.
Yeah. Oh, fucking Jesus.
Pretty good right there, eh?
Wow.
That was cool.
That felt, you know how we're just
Hear the sound, can't
hear
you?
the sound.
It's awesome.
It's skinny.
See your ball position there, mate. Just feel the passing just a little bit, yeah. Good. And then just add just a tiny little bit of pressure into your left side. That's it. You've done a super job, mate, with your setup down the line.
Off the still a little round.
Yeah, truckload better though. Yeah, so if we look at like your hip joint here, like that's really looking really good pretty much over your here. This is looking pretty good now.
Yeah.
And now we're getting your hands really dropping straight down. It's really good. And then you can just see here, just before I said anything to you, how you're kind of favouring just being back a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're going to get you to hit a few shots in a second where we feel like we hit sort of some more low punches, so we're not going to try and flight the ball very high.
Yeah.
And what I said to you was just get more on the left side. So you can see here now you're much more neutral over it, mate. So
Yeah.
Head position's great. You're actually probably a tiny bit on that left hand side, but it looks really good. And you've got this little forward press here with your with your hands, so you're in a really good starting position now.
Still want to get rid of that bend.
Yeah, that'll come.
Yeah.
This looks much better. Turning much better through your hips now, which is really good.
Just a bit behind with the takeaway.
100%. So see how your hands are just popping a little bit. So it makes it look like it's not too bad, but because your hands sort of come out away from your body a little bit. The club head doesn't look too bad, but it's actually quite a long way behind yourself.
Yeah.
It's getting better, mate. It's a tiny bit over the top.
Yeah, Wongy was saying that yesterday.
It's just when we turn to the top of your backswing, so if we watch here,
I can get a bit.
Yeah, 100%. So just stay on top of it just a little bit too much. Your hip turn's great, but we'll just stay on top of it a little bit too much. So then when you press into your left, you've kind of just gone in front of it.
Gone a bit too far in front of it,
Yeah. You flushed that one. That was the one that you hit really nice.
Yeah.
So you're actually looking through impact much better, mate. So I guess two little things to tidy up before we start hitting some drivers.
Yeah.
Is when we touched on it last lesson, mate, with your when we were doing the takeaway stuff at the very last bit of the lesson last week. So if you get into a setup for us. So continuing with that good hip turn at the start, just try and feel like your hands just run straight back towards me now, just slowly. So come back. Good. And you don't need to feel, I feel like
I'm trying to hinge too early too.
Yeah, definitely. And so you look a little, call it narrow in your backswing. So you said you want to try and get rid of that.
Yeah.
I feel like you're hinging a bit too early and you're a bit too cramped here.
Yeah.
Where if we can feel like, all this just kind of, our body turns, our hands just track back.
Yeah.
We feel more width.
Yeah, keep that out.
Yeah, correct. So it's kind of feeling like, and we've done some stuff. So if you went hands across your chest for us like this, mate.
Yep.
And got over into your golf setup, just feel like your hips turn, your upper body turn. And now just push your hands straight out away from yourself.
Okay, so go.
Yeah, and just push, so go hands across your chest. And turn back, feeling that extension through here.
Yeah.
So feeling more. How are you, Chris? Yeah, you're fine, buddy. Good, get that press into your left side, mate. Just go tiny bit that way.
Kelly. Probably just hands came away from me a little, I think. I sort of went out a bit too far as opposed to...
Yeah, there's kind of two components to your takeaway, I reckon. So if you get into setup for us. Good. So feel your good hip turn, just feel like your hands push towards me at the start, mate. Yeah, keep turning. Just feel like you're getting away from yourself instead of trying to feel like you cock them up so early.
Yeah.
Feel like it's more a turn and you're sort of pushing your hands away from yourself, mate. So you don't need to feel that such early.
Good heavy.
That's great. Now just do your first little turn. So swing back, push away. Don't feel like you're lifting your hands, does it, mate? See, that looks better. So just feeling yourself just turn more.
Yeah.
Feeling your upper body as you get over to setup. Feeling your hips and upper body just turn. So you don't need to feel like you're
okay.
setting them up so high, so quick. That one feel?
Yeah, almost. Like it almost.
Yeah, it's just a tiny little bit thin, but not far away. So I think good little checkpoint. We're going to start doing some driver swings in a second, mate. So the irons, I feel like you, every now and then, you just kind of like a little bit back behind it that way.
Yeah.
Just feeling that little press forward, which gives you that little press forward with your hand as well, mate. So you started from a good spot. And it's just feeling that hip turn, your hands push away a bit more, so feeling like that, get more width in your start. So you don't need to feel like you're balling. Yeah, you don't need to feel like you're picking it up at all. Just more width. That's good. Very close.
I'll be happy with the shot.
You're starting to get down to the ground now, aren't you? Which is really cool.
Yeah.
You're not trying to unconsciously sort of pick it up off the top. You're actually getting your chest over it.
A couple of compressions have felt good.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, 100%. Like if we look at that shot we got in the video before, mate, like even though through the top part of your backswing you kind of move forward towards the target a little bit.
Yeah.
You're able to keep that pressure there on the way through,
Yeah.
which is really good. It didn't look like you were going back behind it.
Yeah.
That gives you that width at the very start. You don't even feel like you're picking it up so much, mate. That's better. See that club head position there?
Yeah.
That's where you want to be.
Okay.
Alright.
Oh, hang on. No, I just came up and...
That's okay. So a great little drill for you. So when you get down to the range to hit a few, mate,
Yeah.
I'd be trying to feel for you. Obviously, we've spoken about setup, so a little bit of pressure on that left-hand side. When you turn back, just trying to feel like your hands sort of push away from yourself a little bit. And then as a finish position, so when you're swinging through it, mate, trying to feel like you hit a few low ones where your chest really stays over it. And just finishing out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So feel like your hips and your chest turn to me. That's better. So you maintain that wrist angle, and what's going to happen through impact, mate, you're going to be more here, over the top of it, maintaining this angle through here, and then your body's just going to keep turning through.
And the other part of what Wongy was saying yesterday was giving me some extra lock. He goes, yep, it's not going to take all the distance away, but you are then going to resist the urge of trying to pick the thing up.
100%, mate. I had someone come to the other day, they just got coincidentally we just got rid of the leg drivers, and it was from 10.5 they'd put it up, got fitted into like 11.5.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it's like right. I said, oh, get a couple for me, and the flight that was coming out was absolutely perfect. And similar thing, I've been working with Brad for a little while. I'm trying to feel like he's more over it. I said, mate, let's keep it 11.5 for a while, so you actually feel like you're getting this way, and then once we start getting your body moving, you feel like you're over the top of the ball. Then we can tweak it back down.
Yeah, well, that's what Wongy said. Just to have a 3 hits with you, get you to have a look at what I'm doing, what the club's set up, and just see if it's right.
Yep.
Because I stupidly forgot to take the driver in.
That's all right. Good. So we're just feeling width in that backswing.
Yeah.
A good turn of the hips, feeling that width, feeling that. I love that sub-head position right there. It's great. Much better. Awesome. All good.
Little heavy.
Just a smidge.
But if that's the miss,
Yeah. Hit one more, bud, and then we'll smash a few drivers. That's pretty good. The reason why I like starting here, it obviously gets your body moving better. So just want to check ball position right there, just doesn't creep too far forward.
yeah. Just swing the swing. Just swing the swing.
Feeling that width for start. Awesome.
Just went like this. Big
Just a
turn.
little?
That was
Just
the
a-
old me. That was the.
Yeah, for sure. So let's on this next one, we're going to back with that little drill where we finish just up out
Yeah.
in front. So just, I mean, the feeling is, mate, imagine you're in the trees over here on hole 2, and there are these pine tree branches like hanging out through here. And just feel like you want to hit a low shot for me that goes under these tree branches out here.
Yep.
You're
Okay.
going to hold your finish. So it's kind of like low punch feeling. So still feeling the same length backswing and stuff, but it's just that low punch feeling on the way through. How good was that?
Yeah.
So it's a good one to start with, that drill there, mate, because what it really encourages our body turn, keeping our chest over it.
Yep.
And then by turning through into this position here, we can really check how your body's worked. Have you like let it go, or have you maintained that wrist angle through? You know, have you flicked your hands and the toe of the club's come over?
And do you reckon that's a good one to warm up with before a round?
Definitely. Yeah, I'd either start here, like hitting that shot, that low sort of punch shot, like hitting 10 of those, or grab your sand wedge out and hit like a few flighted sand wedges.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. Really cool.
I've almost hit that as bar.
It's quite amazing because you stay more compact. I watched a video the other day that someone did, mate, and they were talking about, you know, as a golfer, when we're hitting our irons, do we need to get up parallel to the ground? And they were on the same sort of thinking as myself. It's like, no, we don't. You know, if we're trying to do something special, you know, over this tree over here or something, we need extra speed. We need to get the spin rate up so it's launching higher. Yeah.
Well, yesterday, with the 7-iron that we ended up settling on, I was trying to really go after it. And I said, all right, I'm just going to calm down, slow down. I'm just going to take a bit off this.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was sort of getting it to, you know, 149,
Perfect.
1, right, but going after it.
Yeah.
So I go, I'm just going to take it easy.
Yeah.
So I take it easy and I just come through, followed through just slowly, 154.
There you go. Quite amazing.
Longy's like, do you see? He goes, how much slower do you think you were?
Yeah.
And I said, oh, a fair bit.
Yeah.
And he said, you were barely like a kilometre an hour slower or something. Like you were barely
So it's pretty much
a mile an hour. You
yeah,
were a mile an hour slower. That's it.
Pretty amazing, isn't it?
He goes, but you swung within yourself and everything stayed in alignment.
Your contact, so like where your contact will fall off the face would be a lot more consistent, a lot more centred. So then your ball speed's going to be up, mate. So.
It's just it is my bad habit, mate. I told you that I grew up with a cousin who could hit the cover off it, and I kept trying to do it.
That's great. Just that little press forward.
Yep.
Feeling that turn, feeling those hands back. Just more width there, mate. So try and feel width when you turn.
Yeah.
The cool thing is, mate, too, so once our body starts moving better, you might get that every now and then where it starts going a little bit left. just
Yeah.
because you're starting to rotate better, so you don't actually need to try and catch it with the hands anymore. It's all going to come from you.
Yeah, again, Wongy, the same thing, said, if it's turning over, it's because you've tried to turn it over because you're trying to close your hand.
Yeah,
With
correct.
what we've done now with your new club, everything like that, your actual shot shape is a slight fade. He said that's when you're hitting it properly. He goes, so if you're seeing it turn over, you've done that.
Yeah, you've caused it.
Yeah.
Great exercise, mate.
Love to.
That's great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's awesome. Thank you, mate.
No,
That's
all
a good
good.
drill too. All right.
First one's good, mate.
Right, over the top.
I reckon it's more club face, that one, buddy. To be completely honest. Yeah, I reckon that was more club face. Just purely
I'm trying
because
to, last week you told me to bring that a bit
yeah,
over.
perfect. How's that been feeling?
Not natural. Not yet. Not
Feeling a bit
natural
shit.
yet.
Yeah, for sure. Grip changes are always the worst. So we're going to pump this straight over that white post, mate. That's where we're going here.
Yeah. You know what I did there?
No, tell me.
I just listened to the last bit. The push your arm, push my arms.
Yep.
Push them not there, so it's got to be there.
You know,
Almost
great.
at the camera.
Yeah, a great little drill. So you hold the club up here, so hold it up just like a baseball bat.
Yeah.
From there, just feel like your hips turn. So hips turn. And see how all that moves together?
Yeah.
So hips turn, upper body turn, then you get your natural winning hinge.
Yeah.
Right? Because I feel like you've been trying to, in a way, sort of pick it up, set them really early, mate.
Yeah.
Where if we can just
The shake
naturally...
hands method.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of like if I was going to throw a ball, you said, Mick, throw me a ball, I'd just be here, I'd turn back. Right? Wrist will naturally set, and then we let it go.
Oh.
So
You don't go.
No,
You
it's
don't go like this.
No, you don't set it early and then, you know what I mean? When you have a shot.
We would
put.
laugh at people that did that.
You would, wouldn't you?
We would.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, that's a good. I'm going to keep
So
that
it's
in
a
my
good
head.
little,
Throw the ball.
throw the ball, mate. So we just rotate and let it set.
Throw the ball.
So we want that same feeling, kind of what you were talking, what we've been talking about this morning, even with Longy yesterday. We want to get that low feeling, so let the loft of the club shoot it up.
Yeah.
Let's really try and feel like we're going to hit it down.
Yeah,
We're going to hit that low shot because, like on that one there, we've just kind of picked it up off the top.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like we want to see it fly up.
Yeah.
So let's tee this one just a smidge higher.
Yep.
And I want you just to feel like you're going to hit the low one. So we're going to keep our chest over on the way through.
Oh, the same drill as before.
Yeah,
The
pretty
iron.
much, but you can let your follow through go a little bit more, mate.
Yeah, left.
Long way left or drawing left?
No, it started left and just sort of stayed on that line. So
Okay.
that left post, the left white post,
Yeah.
just over the mound.
Yep.
That's where it went.
So that would tell us that your path on that one, mate, was probably a little bit over the top.
Yep.
So if we think about starting line, the great thing with putting this, all your alignment sticks on the ground, or putting this team set up with the club. So we know our feet are lined up, we know our ball position's good. So the only thing is really getting down to that probably like the square face that we've done on that one. Yeah. Probably just a little bit over the top. We'll have a look at this. Kick your right foot back just a little bit for me. Perfect. That's just going to help you shallow the club on the way down, just a fraction, mate.
Be right with that. Not getting overly high, but straight.
I reckon that'll come, mate. So, keep it compact one. I'm sure. I reckon that one there just caught low on the face.
Yep.
So if we catch it low on the face, we're going to get a bit of a lower trajectory.
The path.
I think path was better. Let's have a look, mate. And same, I think it was better. Like you see, like the starting line was sort of.
Am I still bent over too far here? Am I not standing up straight enough?
No, I think you're good now, mate. Yeah, I think you're good. If anything, so we can see your feet alignment, so we dropped your right foot back just to help
Yep.
you shallow it.
Pointing straight at that white post.
Yeah,
Yep.
hips are great. if anything, your shoulders are tweaked just a little bit to the left, which is going to cause just a little bit of...
So you're saying tweak to the left?
A little bit that way. A bit open. Yeah, so we could feel... And it's just a little tweak when we get into our driver setup. So we hinge over. It's just that little, when we go give ourselves that little bit of spine angle tilt.
I'm feeling that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, you're going a bit that way. Little stuff that we did with your irons just before tipping your hands down. So they're not popping out as far. Consequently, that's looking better.
That's great. Look at that little stick.
Yeah,
that's where it's
pretty much
to be,
perfect.
right?
Yeah, it's pretty much perfect. Yeah, exactly right. So just matching up and just like getting the target right. That's getting into a really good position. Hips are opening up really nicely now. It's really cool. Second half, it's going to be good. Very good spot. Starting to happen, mate.
And do you want to spool the throat?
Yeah, why don't we cut something in?
Yeah. A little bit. It's just because
It's a bit different because I guess once you get on your path to improving
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff, mate, you start learning so much about the game and how to do it.
And I think too, the other thing that I've got to really be conscious of is what are you taking from other places and thinking, oh, that applies to me, without actually knowing. Like, I had someone say to me, oh, when I was hitting driver at a place once, and someone said, oh, I don't mean to interrupt, but you know, you're choking down on it too much, so maybe you should hold it way back and you'll actually get more club head speed through.
Yeah.
I went, oh, okay, thanks for that. And I hit a few, and he was right, it worked, and I hit it further.
Sure.
But then I've created this thing where I'm holding the club right at the back here. The club's not actually, and so I'm like trying to get up,
And then consequently through impact now you've created that.
And that's
mate.
why I was doing that thing where I'm like standing there because I had to try and get this thing to go through.
100%. Yeah, I had a guy come to me a little while ago, mate. His clubs were nearly like 2 inches over, and poor bugger, like we had our first lesson. Not even want to talk about selling clubs or anything, but we ended up chopping his clubs down. I was like, who gave you these? It was just another someone else had fitted him up for him, and he's through impact, mate. It was just so much like trying to create room. So we just chopped him down, and now he's actually on the right path to actually being able to now compress it. You're on a similar sort of journey now, which is really cool, mate. So the big one here, mate, with driver is just trying to feel, just as we spoke about, set up width looks great. I would just try and feel like that right toes back just a smidge. Awesome. That's shallow with half. And then when you come down into setup here, and you let your pump hit the ground, it's just a tiny little bit of, just a smidge. You don't have to do that much.
But not open, not open like that.
So a lot of people when they go to set up the driver, they sort of go down here. Here's ball positions up forward, they'll just go like that. You can see what happens to my shoulders straight away. They go there, going to cause a little bit of open top. So if we hold here, got our posture, hinge over, and then just a little bit of spine angle tilt. That'll just keep our shoulders matching nicely with your feet and your hips, mate. Good. Okay. That's all right. So that's just yours where you get too much up this way, so you're just trying to shift it up in the air. So, which isn't a bad thing, mate. That's just where as we spoke about, it's just where you come from. So if we go back to what we spoke about with our irons, let's feel like we're not, so the club's there, the club's going to get the ball up in the air for you. Let's just feel like our chest stays nice and low over it. Good, feel that good width on that backswing as well, mate. That's better, love that. Pumped. You'd hear the sound of that one, couldn't you? That was really cool.
Well, that's straight out of the high diddle, and that felt amazing.
Well, it was pure.
That was pure.
Yeah.
Or dare we say that was elite?
Yeah, it was 100%. That's what we come back for. Yeah, that was really cool, mate. So
that felt great. I felt like I stayed in it, like stayed down in it.
100%. Yeah.
Came through.
And watching your body, mate. Like I don't know about the camera, but you can just see how your body just kept turning through. Like there was none of, you know, trying to help it up. Last time we spoke about a little bit about, you know, how he was coming forward and stuff, but that one there was so nicely over the top of it and just allowed, you know, the 10.5 with 11.5 degrees at the moment to lock it up for you. So you see your starting line there, mate, and this is the biggest thing about coming to lessons is understanding what's happened there. So your ball flight pretty much started right down your target line. It's just faded ever so slightly off to the right. It's still probably going to be in place, but you just hit that. So your path is really good. And you know that because of your starting line. You just slightly open face, which has just made that just move to the right ever so slightly. So.
But it felt like good contact again.
Mate. Good.
Like, and interesting to see that for consistency too on the club face here. Like I've stayed within that boundary. And on a normal round or at a range session, I mean, this is like a Jackson Pollock painting. It's just splattered everywhere.
You're getting good use out of the AI, mate. I reckon.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Let's go another one.
I reckon one thing that you don't need to put in though, because we've come from coming this way a little bit too much, unconsciously opening it up. You don't need to feel like when you get into setup here, you don't need to give yourself too much of the spot.
Just a little,
just a tiny bit. For you, it's actually going to be better, mate, to feel more over the top of it. Cool. Yeah, no more than that. That looks great. Shoulders are really good.
That might be the best drive I've ever hit.
That's really good. It's really good, mate.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, good progress. Like, and you know, we spoke about doing short game your last lesson, so we haven't even really had to assess like your setup that much today because it's, you know, you've ingrained that really well, mate. Your posture's looking good. We're getting that nice hinge over here. We're no longer kind of sitting down in it too much like we were last lesson. We're too much sort of this way. We're now taller through here. You've got that good hinge, and you're looking like a golfer now, mate.
Perish the thought.
That's right.
So not just dressed like one, actually looking like one.
Look like you know what you're doing.
Wow, that's incredible. And that's really interesting about that. Yes, from wedge to driver, it's a very, very different mechanism. It's a very different set of, it's a very different technique, very different set of, a different routine. But there's some fundamentals that maintain throughout every golf shot, and I probably hadn't put much thought into that. I felt like everything was just a completely different mechanism and movement. But from what you're saying, there's things that you take from every club all the way up the line.
Definitely, and that's why, like when we worked short game a couple of weeks back, mate, the first one we really spoke about when we were here. Even though we had, you know, got good posture, we had that pressure on that ledge. We spoke about, you know, just feeling that tiny little bit of hip turn. Is now when we actually hit the driver, you can see at the top of your swing how well you get to release it. So it's actually starting to flow. We touched on last lesson as well, that club sort of getting behind yourself a lot. You know, when we hit the few warm-up shots with your 7-iron, we tweak that ever so slightly. And now with your driver, mate, it's looking good. Like it's actually looking really good. When we get back to here, you've got that club head sitting nice in a great position. Your hands aren't popping and you're not pushing the top behind yourself, which is really cool.
So do you reckon I would need to maybe cut this down?
Ever so slightly. I reckon you could go half an inch down on it. Sure. I think just
I'm sort of holding it there now.
Definitely. It's not going to be a bad thing. To be completely honest, mate. So I actually use a driver which is half an inch shorter too.
Yeah, I reckon I could tell that from watching your videos. Because you are back in the handle.
Yeah, there's a few talking like golf fitting and stuff. There's a few manufacturers out there that like to go longer because if we go longer, we should get an increase in club head speed, which should relate to an increase in ball speed. But then we start going like this. Where, you know, the better we get, if you've already got the club head speed, it's all about trying to get the ball in the fairway, as we spoke about before.
Well, and interesting too, that the course I play at, where I'm a member at Cheltenham, especially now with the reconfiguration, so you probably, I mean, you don't always even have to take driver on the first or the second, but you might take driver on the first 3 holes and then use them 2 more times on 2 other holes. So I've just hit 3 drives that would have been in play. So I'm in the game, holes 1, 2 and 3. And it's just a wedge in.
That's right, mate.
And then we've done the wedges last week. So that's just such a big difference than having to stand there and go,
one thing that we haven't even spoke about, which we'll talk about down the track, mate, like today we've really just gone stock standard, driver setup, standard tee high, half a ball above the top of the club. But, you know, when we get down the track, we start talking about routines and all that sort of stuff. Playing around with the height of the ball as well. Like you jumped on YouTube and you typed in how to get a little further, like you will see, tee high, shoulders back.
Yeah, well, that's what I got tricked into. So here's a lesson for young players at home.
Yeah.
As wonderful as it is to be looking at all the different YouTube and Instagram and everything like that, what you can't and what they can't teach you, and I'll say this because it just sounds like you're trying to sell yourself, so I'll sell it. They don't know how you swing the club. Yeah. So all the things that they say work well for them and might fundamentally be true, but they've never ever seen my swing, your swing, your swing.
Correct, mate. Yeah, there's some good stuff out there, but it's generic. So this is where, you know, the one-on-one stuff's so beneficial.
Yeah.
Because you can come here, and we're all different, like all different builds, different flexibilities. Like
so for me, very minimal.
Too much deadlift.
An 80-year-old man in. Well, I'm 44, but I would say I'm an 80-year-old man in a 54-year-old's body at a 44-year-old's age.
Lovely, lovely. So we're working with it, but you're starting to hit a pure now, mate.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Awesome, buddy. Nice one.
What do you want to do?
I know, we can go.
Is there anything else to do with that? I mean, that's just...
Can't do... Yeah, no, to be completely honest, mate, you're hitting them nicely, your setup's good. I love what you're doing now in that takeaway. So that, I feel we've hit a really good one today. Feeling more width in that backswing.
Yeah.
So not trying
I was getting caught up, and here's the thing, and again, this is what the YouTube won't teach you, or the person that said hold the club back on that, and then the person who said to me, you don't hinge quickly enough. Yeah. And it was more about, and I've even had another person say, actually, it's not that you don't hinge early enough, it's just that you're not hinging enough when you get to the point where you should, so then you're trying to catch up. Yeah, for sure. And that made sense. Yeah. But the person who was, so I'm being told to hinge quicker with clubs that I'm now knowing are too long, holding the driver back, making it even longer because I'm holding it further back on the handle. Yeah. So I'm getting really cramped up and then trying to get everything to do this.
Exactly right. Yeah.
And the moment that we figure out that takeaway to give myself some width, with the right grip, in the right stance,
definitely,
it just came naturally.
Yeah, for sure. Did you want to have a quick look at your putting, mate?
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Yeah,
for sure. I just want to hit one more and see if it went through. There we go. I'll go tee.
Just when you set this up on the range, mate, I'll just there.
Oh yeah, just forward of that.
Just forward of that.
Oh yeah, so
because that gets it.
So I was probably going here.
Too far forward. Yeah. That's going to cause a little bit of generally going up.
Yeah. I'm going to try and keep it on the chest.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess when you come into setup, mate, and that's probably like the last bit of today. So when you actually come into setup and you do your routine, it's always like club face down first, and then I would position your left foot, and then get your right foot. That makes sense. Just to simplify down to the club face, and then build your stance around your club face. Looks really good. You're on.
4 in a row.
Okay. That's really good.
That's
good.
unreal.
No, that's awesome.
I don't think I've ever hit 4 playable drives in a row in a round.
The flight on that last one was nice. And see any contact, you could hear the sound. Like that was much more sort of centre to just above, probably centre on the face, where the other one would start, we were catching like a little bit low. So that's all that, just trying to feel more over the top of it, mate. But, it's good. Really good, mate.
So good. I'm wrapped. Absolutely wrapped.
Good stuff.
Oh, God. And you know what? That just like the relief, because it was doing my head in. Yeah. And here I am thinking, I'm going to have to go back and get it refitted. And it's not. It's just, if anything, get it cut down a little bit for the time being.
No, for the time being, mate, I'd just grip down on it. Just a little bit, grip down half an inch.
Yeah. So when I'm getting alignment, just have the grey against the watch.
That'd be perfect. Yep.
Yeah, wow.
All right, it's great. You're
Finish
on track,
on a high.
mate.
I mean, that's just great. That's
so
good, mate.
Nice one.